Assalamu alaikum and welcome to day 11 of the 20 by 20 Wellbeing Challenge. Myself Shamil here, I am with my co-host.
Assalamu alaikum everyone, thank you for joining us today. This is Shazia, your co-host, and yet again we have a very inspirational lineup for you today. And as always, the theme for this year's Wellbeing Challenge is a very beautiful and inspiring quote by Imam Ali, which is, "You presume you are a small entity, but within you is enfolded the entire universe."
Absolutely, and we've had amazing sessions that have gone by today. Back on live. We apologize for that, but we're back again. So as I was saying, that we've been having some very good sessions the last 10 days. Today marks the crossing. We're into the last 10 days, and there's still a lot in store, and it's going to be the amazing back end of the 20 by 20. So please do log on, be here every single day, and as always, if there's anything you need to reach out for, we've always been sharing the email address, but please write into bewell@ksimcdubai.com, or you can reach out on WhatsApp at 043982121. So, Sister Shazia, what do you feel about the last 10 days that have gone by?
I think it feels good that we have reached our halfway mark, I must say. But it's been quite a journey, and the topics that have been spoken about and a lot of things that have been addressed, I think, are very important and crucial when it comes to well-being. And I think that the audience being there every day is a huge motivation for all of us, right?
Absolutely, and I've been inundated with a lot of messages that have come in. And it's amazing to see how many people actually are taking in so much of this, which shows that well-being and overall wellness is paramount and really required in our community worldwide today.
Yeah.
And it's something that we need to really touch upon.
Yeah, definitely. I think that it's something that a lot of people crave for. Yeah, so they always look forward to it, whether even if it's not that they watch it live. But we have the recordings later, and I think a lot of people do find that very useful to go back to and to see, to take notes, and it's just a kind of reminder every single day that your well-being is as important as your physical well-being.
Very true, very true. And for today's session, we'll touch upon exactly this point, And I'm very excited about today's session because today's speaker is someone who is very, very inspirational. Someone who is living the exact quote that we have. And he's got the entire, or he's understood that he has the entire universe within him.
Within him, definitely.
Yeah.
It's a very, very inspiring man, and I think we can all take away a lot from him. So
Absolutely.
I think we can go ahead and introduce today's speaker. We have Brother Murtaza Merali Dewji. Brother Murtaza is a holder of a BSc degree in computer science and a charismatic individual. At the tender age of 14, Brother Murtaza was diagnosed with a life-altering condition. Yet he never let this get in the way of his zest for life. He's an active disability campaigner, and despite the challenges he faces daily, he believes nothing can stop him from achieving his dreams and goals in life. His personal slogan is, "Disability is not an inability." He is also the author of several books on disability, and his campaigning has taken him around the globe with opportunities to speak on radio shows and stages to a variety of audiences. His highlight came in 2003 when his face appeared on posters all over London as part of an advertising campaign to increase awareness about disability. And today's very inspirational topic, is ability through a disability. You are your own champion. Can we please welcome Brother Murtaza Merali?
Assalamu alaikum, Brother Murtaza.
Alaikum salam.
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you for joining us today.
Assalamu alaikum. Respected scholars, my dear ladies and gentlemen. I would first like to thank the Dubai Jamaat for kindly inviting me to speak at this year 2020 event. I am honored to be part of this year's event, and I hope my speech will enlighten you all. Today, I want to share with you 3 things that will gradually change the way you think about your capabilities in life. In over the past 4 decades of my life to date, my perception of what I'm able to give by my physical abilities shifted significantly. I continue to learn a lot from this, and I hope in sharing my learning with you, your perception in what you like to go on and achieve will grow through. Firstly, I would like to start with the reflection from a verse of the Holy Quran, which resonates with me, particularly during one of my most challenging moments of my life. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. La yukallifu Allahu nafsan illa wus'aha, which translates, on no soul does Allah place a burden greater than it can bear. Surah Baqarah. This ayah has a special place in my heart, and I recite it when I feel the obstacles become unbearable. I personally feel on these times, after reciting the Holy Quran, it's better throughout my life, I have taken inspiration from the Holy Quran at each stage of my life and how it resonates with me on a day-to-day life. And so, while we appreciate the challenges are measured to our capability, what is the purpose of the challenge? In the following verses, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, فَإِنْ مَعَ الْعُسْرِ يُسْرًا إِنَّ مَعَ الْعُسْرِ يُسْرًا, Surah Al-Inshirah, which translates, all difficulty come with ease. This ayah reminds me whenever I'm facing a difficulty in life, there's always a response. I'm grateful to be teaching Quran to the youths of the community. As I follow three rules of a teacher. Firstly, I'm always on time. Secondly, I know all my student names. And lastly, I always have a smile on my face. These three things really support my teaching. And also the new syllabus gives different verses which helps humanity on a day-to-day basis. Life is a constant burden. Life is a constant burden with your thoughts and feelings. Everyone has a good and bad days. On a bad day, the thing that brings the happiness is recitation of the Holy Quran. Secondly, I want to reflect on whether society believes. Secondly, I want to reflect on whether society thinks disability is really an inability or not. In my 40 years, I have followed a policy wherever I go, I must be on time. Example, going to mosque to teach in madrasa or playing different activities like going to the gym, swimming, or playing table tennis in a wheelchair. To me, this shows off all of my day-to-day activities, and especially sports, with a correct mindset, which translates to a growth mindset and helps me physically, mentally, and spiritually strong. As always, I have been a sportsman, playing tennis and swimming in Mombasa where I was before. But now my different ability has started, and I've started going to play wheelchair table tennis every Saturday with the Stanmore Jaffreys. And I made a point to go weekly swimming. It makes me feel productive and stress-free. And also, watching my son play sports like football, table tennis, or basketball or rugby. Thirdly, I want to end on the final point by sharing a message from the Holy Quran. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. وَذَكَرَ فَإِنَّ الَّذِينَ تَنْجُوا الْمُؤْمِنُونَ, which translates to go and remind people. It is the believer who remembers. When I came across this ayah, I realized that my life, I wanted to share my life in messages. And also I've published 2 books, Ability Through a Disability, Part 1 and 2, which resulted me in giving speeches in Mombasa, firstly in madrasa, secondly senior citizen in Stanmore, and I was invited in Mombasa also. And also I was invited by Dr. Challenger's grammar school to give a talk to the 6th form students. My 2 books are available in print or can be downloaded if you are interested. Once again, I would just like to say thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak out, to speak at this part and be part of this year's 2020 event. Inshallah, all will go well with the rest of the event. Inshallah.
Asant, Jazakallah. Thank you so much, Brother Murtaza, for enlightening us with amazing talks, amazing content, and just to learn a bit about yourself and how you've garnered such strength, which I think in itself is a big inspiration to every one of us out there.
Yeah, definitely agree. Thank you so much for that, Brother Murtaza. The 2 very important verses that you mentioned from the Quran are the 2 verses that do keep us going. And the second one is my personal favorite. So thank you so much for that. Please do stay with us. We're going to go ahead with the Kahoot, the questions for the Kahoot, inshallah, and then we are going to go ahead with the Q&A after that, and I'm sure we have quite a lot of questions for Brother Murtaza, so please do stay with us. Okay, yes.
So before we start the Kahoot, let's see the leaderboard.
Yes. Can we have the leaderboard, please? In first place, we have Sister Zara Juma with 46,315 points. Second place, we have Sister Rosemin Wazir with 45,790 points. And in third place, we have Sister Nazneen in 45,091 points. Sorry, so I think second and third place have swapped today. They were switched.
So yesterday was even the remaining ones.
Yes.
There's been some shifts up and down.
There's been some major shifts, and I think just keep going, fastest fingers, and the right answer, of course. So can we have today's Kahoot?
Yes, let's go to today's Kahoot.
And yes, for day 11, the Kahoot game pin is 2606760. And there's a QR code as well. Once again, please do log in with your full names or the names that you have been using for the past 10 days, because that is how your points will be recorded. Again, the game pin is 2606760. We're going to give it around 30 seconds.
Yeah, I think this is the part that a lot of people look forward to, and really exciting part.
The exciting part.
Yeah, but I'm excited for the Q&A today, to go into talking a bit more with Brother Murtaza.
Yes, most
You know,
definitely.
when I was sharing with him that there's so many people that struggle in life, that we have so many issues going on in life, things that are happening, challenges per se. But you know, hearing from Brother Murtaza how he's able to, with all these challenges, accomplish everything and still look at the world in a positive way, I think that's a big strength. Yeah.
I think looking at the world in a positive and filled with gratitude, that is faith, and that is something that we can also see in the places around the world right now.
And I haven't a doubt, you know, I myself am an author of a book as well, and he is too. And there's one person who told me one day that you know, by writing a book, one day your son later on or children later on will read back. So I'm pretty sure Brother Murtaza's son growing up will hold on to that, and many other people will as well.
Yes, most definitely.
Okay, are we ready to begin the Kahoot?
I think a few more seconds and then we can start. I think you're right, Uncle Shamil. Having a book does leave behind your story and a legacy. It's something that stays with
Absolutely.
people.
Absolutely, and something that we can all strive towards.
Okay, I think that's all. Can we start the Kahoot? Okay, day 11.
Okay, yes, so we'll start with question number 1. Are you ready? Okay, quiz time. In the Quran, which verse in Surah does Allah say, "No soul does Allah place a burden greater than what it can bear"? It was the first quote that, first ayah that Brother Murtaza quoted. Is it Surah 2, verse 186, Surah 2, verse 168, Surah 2, verse 196, or Surah 2, verse 178?
It's a very beautiful ayah, I must say. And yes, it's Surah 2, verse 186.
I mean, stumped quite a few people there.
And we have question number 2. Everyone goes through good and bad days. On bad days, what gave him more strength? Eating chocolate, going out in nature, listening to a majlis, or reciting the Quran? Yes, absolutely,
the
it's B, reciting the Quran.
I think that can give all of us strength, yeah?
Yes.
Question number 3, the growth mindset that helps keep him physically strong, mentally strong, spiritually strong, or is it all of the above? And this growth mindset can help all of us as well. So what is it? Physically, mentally, spiritually? Yes, it's all of the above. Absolutely.
Okay, question number 4. Which verse in Surah does Allah says, "And go on reminding people it is good for those who believe to be reminded"? Is it 51-55, 55-51, 51-51, or 55-55? It's a bit tricky, confusing. Yes, it's A, 51, 55.
Okay, question number 5. What is the one policy Brother Murtaza has followed throughout his life? Is it always be positive, always have a smile, always be on time, or always have good friends? Yes, correct. His policy is always to be on time, which that in itself is amazing.
And we have the last question for today, which is double points. What color is the box for day 11? So this is referring to the activities calendar. Is it magenta? Is it blue? Is it white? Or is it black?
See who's been doing the activities. We'll be seeing this every single day.
And yes, it's B, blue. And on the podium, we have in third place Sister Sajida Khwaja. In second place, we have Sister Sayeda. And in first place, we have Sister Zara Juma. Very well done.
Yep, it's heating up and looks like Sister Zara Juma is not stopping since last year's 20 by 20 challenge.
Yeah, I must say it was quite difficult keeping up, but good luck to everyone else as well. And we can move on to the Q&A for today.
Okay, so if any of you have any questions, please post them on the comment section of the chat that we have. And inshallah, we'll raise your questions up to Brother Murtaza, and he can assist us in going through the questions that you come up with. Brother Murtaza, are you there? Thank you so much for being here with us.
Yeah. Yes.
Let me super. Let me just start us off with one question before we take some questions from outside, from the audience. So, your story is great because we all go through challenges in life. We all have rough days. We all have bad days. But, have you ever had days where the evening before you've planned your day, tomorrow will be this is what I'm going to do in the morning, XYZ. But then in the morning, because of difficulties, the day turns out to be quite the opposite. How do you mentally handle such a situation in a day like this?
My mom would always say, when something happens, there is always light at the end of the tunnel. Allah is the best planner, and I live with these words, the phrase that helped me go through different moments in my life.
That's amazing. My question to you is that it's so wonderful how you find inspiration from the Holy Quran and its verses. But when you first got diagnosed at a young age, who was your inspiration? And where did you draw strength to overcome this hurdle?
My parents were my biggest inspiration, and they provided comfort and they guided me on the road on a day-to-day basis. Since I was very young, I needed guidance and to remember that everything will work out, which they provided. My sisters provided me comfort, and also with all I needed, I had all the help to give me strength.
Amazing. And I think we'll take one question from the comments that we have. or we've just been getting comments about
Yes,
you. And
I
everyone.
think everyone finds you very inspiring, and I completely agree. People have said they admire the way you have integrated the Holy Quran in your everyday life. And you inspire us, brother. Bless you always. So yeah, I think we can go ahead with our questions.
Another question we may
Yeah.
have. All right. So, Brother Murtaza, for many of the people out there struggling with a challenge in their life, with a disability as well, the people around us affect us a lot. They can either affect us in a very good way and make life easier and normal for us, or it can be that they say something that we want them to avoid saying. Yeah. So, what do you think that this is what people? I mean, in your book, you mentioned, I think one of the quotes that you said, you don't want people to feel pity for you. Yeah. And that's, I think, how everyone who is struggling in life, they don't want that. But what are the right things that people can say, and possibly what are the things that you don't want to hear?
There are lots of benefits now, and I have lots of benefits, and my favorite one is when I went for theme park. I was in a single queue, even I can't remember. 1 second. To make the people around me to make my life normal and really easy, especially my parents, who made sure my education with was still a priority and got me a scribe to help me with my GCSEs and A levels, which allowed me to get a good education and able to get a top university.
MashaAllah.
I think the one question that I think is very important to address, Brother Murtaza, is that for those who are not with a disability physically, and how do you think writing, or rather, I would say, what was the motivation behind writing the two very beautiful books that you have written? Because people worldwide do read your books, and they don't necessarily have a physical disability. But how do you think you inspire them? What was the motivation behind writing these two books?
With my story, I was really inspired with all my activities. Actually, I had help. I got help from one of the Dubai people who used to be in UK. Panjwani. He helped me. He helped me go through the difficulties I was having. But with him, I could talk everything, and he advised me to write a book because whenever I came to the UK, I always used to email my parents on a day-to-day basis, which Panjwani thought, if I can make it into a book, and that's how my first book went through. And now my second book was, Alhamdulillah, I was blessed to go with the Naqvi brothers to Karbala, and it was signed by Aga Shistani, and which made it really helpful. And I got so much I got so, with all his help, I was managed to do my second book.
Amazing. Brother Murtaza is talking about Zainali Panjwani,
Gosh,
our very
that is
own
really, yes.
Wellbeing team member. Yeah.
Yeah, that's incredible actually.
Super. I was going through your first book, Brother Murtaza, and in there was one story that I read, and was very difficult situation for you, I think, and I don't want to give away too much from the book because I want people to go out there, get the book, and read it. But there was one particular incident which I just want to share and probably highlight that something that people can take away from. So there was one incident where it was snowing very heavily in the UK, right? If you allow me to share this, please, Brother Murtaza.
Okay.
Thank you so much. So it was a day it was really snowing, and Brother Murtaza was stuck at the university. And he waited, thinking that the snow will decrease, will reduce, but it just kept on coming. So from inside, the snow looked wonderful, but he had to get out sometime, and he was living alone. So, and Alhamdulillah, he takes the train, he does everything himself. But the minute he stepped out, the snow on his face, it was very challenging to go through. And he fell down a couple of times. I think some people helped him up. They put him onto a bus. He got to his station. But, the station where he gets off every day and then goes home, he normally does that journey himself. But in this day, he wished that something or someone could help him. And lo and behold, at the station where he gets off, his father was waiting for him there. So I think the message that we can all take from this, that even when we feel we're alone, we are not, because he above is there and he'll always help us. So anyone who's really struggling with anything, whether it's mental, physical, know that your Lord is always there. Yeah. And with that, I wanted to ask you, Brother Murtaza, having a physical challenge can most definitely affect your mental space as well, and vice versa, right? How are you still able to keep your mental space so strong, mashallah? Because that's something I think that we can all take from. Even though you have your physical challenge, how is your mental space so clean? And
Being in a good mental space is really important, and I'm able to stay mentally strong and positive because I don't look at my physical challenges as something that is stopping me from being able to enjoy the fruits of like and every the fruits of life and everything it offers. It is part of me and I wear it. I wear it with pride, even that helps me stay positive, in a positive mindset.
Incredible. Brother Murtaza, a question that we all have, I'm sure, is what would you encourage the audience to do more of in their own lives, having overcome the barrier of the term disability?
I would encourage everyone to be more kind-hearted, learn about the different abilities and inclusive of everyone. Is a small act of kindness can go a long way in making everyone feel more loved.
I definitely agree with that. A small act of kindness can make a huge difference in people's lives, right? Even if it's just a stranger. And I always say that kindness has become quite underrated. And We need to make it a habitual thing, I would say.
Absolutely, absolutely. When getting to know Brother Murtaza more, I found out that his person that he really loves in tennis, by the way, is Pete Sampras. Pete Sampras used to be my favorite as well. And you never know. One of these days, we might just bump into him. But I also have shared with Brother Murtaza, he'll be coming to Dubai, inshallah, for the Unity Games.
Okay.
And I'm looking forward to meeting with him. And we're going to, inshallah, have more sessions with you. But Brother Murtaza, take us through. You are a madrasa teacher. And at the same time, working as well. When you went to the UK for your studies, when you started university, you moved out and you stayed alone. What was the decision behind that, or the thinking behind that? That even though you have, it's not an inability, as you've said, but even though you've had this challenge, how were you able to take the decision that you want to live on your own and do everything by yourself?
Because I always wanted to come to the UK for my studies and go through life and how and to see how the real world works behind, because I was in Kenya and Kenya felt like a paradise going out, so I wanted a challenge myself, and that's why I wanted to do good in my exams to get a nice university. Alhamdulillah, I got one.
It is quite incredible, your journey. And I think you have mentioned a lot in your book as well about independence and doing things by yourself, and I think that's incredible as well. I think we can have one final question.
Yes, please.
My final question to you, Brother Murtaza, is that when you first learned of this sickness that you had, and then the first mindset, I think, for everyone is self-pity, I would say. When do you shift from the mindset of self-pity to now being a warrior? And how did you overcome being in that phase of self-pity? Because I think a lot of people, when we are in our own problems and in our own trauma, the first thing we do is we wallow in self-pity.
To be honest, my first remember was one my grandmother used to say always, "Sunna sabka karna man ka," meaning, look, just ignore if because in different parts of the world you get different opinions from everyone. So she always used to say, "Sunna sabka karna man ka," so think and continue your journey forward.
Amazing. Listen to everyone, but do what you feel.
Yeah, do what your heart tells you.
Okay,
Absolutely.
For those of you who don't know, Brother Murtaza was diagnosed with spastic paraplegia, and Alhamdulillah, he's not let that hold him back. He's continued, and we have many such heroes around us. In fact, within many of us, or within all of us, lies the hero as well. As the quote says, "Within you is enfolded the entire universe," and I think today's session really does emphasize and show that. Correct?
It really does. And I think I've had the pleasure of meeting Brother Murtaza's sister, Zainab. Sister Zainab, and I think she's also such a beautiful woman who is so full of life. and I think there's just so much we can learn how they live life to the fullest, I think. So there's a lot to learn from
There
them.
is, absolutely. Brother Murtaza, I think the final question, what do you prefer better? London or Mombasa?
It's always Mombasa.
Definitely Mombasa.
Mombasa. Thank you very much, Brother Murtaza. I think that's all we have time for today. But inshallah, once you're in Dubai, we're definitely going to be catching up again, and we'll have a few more sessions and take things from there. But we move on now to the book of the day
Yeah.
for today.
Thank you so much, Brother Murtaza, for that very inspirational talk. And because we found your book very inspiring, today we're going to pick out an excerpt from your very own book, which is called The Ability Through Disability. And it's an ebook. There are 2 parts of it, so anyone can read it. It's online. And it's a very beautiful and emotional book on his journey. And this is the excerpt. In April 2017, I realized that I had lived for 20 years with my disability. In that time, I had graduated from school, got into a top London university, moved across the world, got my driving license and a car, lived on my own, graduated from university, volunteered with a disability charity, had my photo on every London bus, been to Mecca 8 times, and to Iraq, and to Syria, and to Dubai, and to Paris. I had taught for years at my local mosque and had attended the gym every single day. Finally, I had had my beautiful son. When I thought of the last 20 years, it almost seemed impossible that I had managed to fit so much in.
So much to take out of that.
Really.
And I think one question that we can all question ourselves out of today's session is that what excuse do we have? What excuse do we have to read the Quran? And I talk to myself first, yeah. What excuse do I have to read the Quran more? To live according to the Quran? Or to get up and go to the gym for my own health, for my own physical well-being? So there is so much that we can learn from each other.
Definitely. So much to learn from each other, so much gratitude to have, so much to take in, especially when it comes to finding happiness in the little things, in the little things in life, and not, for sure, not underestimating things that we can do, because when God gives us problems, he also helps us with it.
Absolutely. Fantastic. And we thank you all for being here today. We hope you've taken away as much as we have taken away sitting here in the studio. But until tomorrow, we'll see you back at the same time, same place, live. Until then, we say good night. God bless and goodbye.
And happy National Day.
To the Dubai ones. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you.